Hello Sagittarius, welcome to your weekly reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, and consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide, right? Remember that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Look at that fire energy. That is the Judgment card, the Eon, rebirth, reawakening, baptism by fire. This is a doorway. I'd like to see where it's going. So we're going to do our Dove and Serpent spread. Wow. All major arcana so far. Ooh, and some air energy. If there's anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know in the comments. Okay? I'm very fascinated by all of this major arcana energy. This central fire here has a lot of support behind it, and we're moving into the future with this Prince of Swords. So let's finish with our Dove and Serpent spread. God, so many major arcana. My lord, that's a lot. This is serious stuff. We're going to do the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. We're going to do the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. I don't use this deck as often as I should, but when I do bring it out, I really feel connected to it again, and I'm happy that I come back to it and I get to enjoy its energy, you know. We're going to put that card over here. We're not going to look at it until the end. And hopefully that will tie everything together and give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. And I'm pretty sure that it will. Okay, so Sagittarius. Major. So many majors, I can't even count them. Then we've got some fire energy. And we've got this air sign person in the future. So let's find out what is up with this Eon card, this Judgment, Rebirth, Reawakening. This is that doorway. We are on the doorstep of a major, very significant, life-changing spiritual event. Okay? Life-changing spiritual event. I think that you have been preparing for this, well, probably your entire life. This is, I mean, I don't even know what you're involved with. This energy is almost overwhelming me, right? And I don't want to make this a 3-hour video. So let's see if we can simplify things and just get everything down to its the kernels that we need. Let's distill it down. You're on the verge of a very important spiritual event in your life. Okay, I think that you are approaching this decision. Maybe this decision has already arrived, like on your doorstep, you know. It's almost as if Amazon's delivered a big box. You're kind of nervous to open it. You know there's something really amazing inside, but you're kind of nervous. And that's the feeling I'm getting here. I think you know kind of what's on the other side of this doorway, but you're a little bit nervous to go through. Okay. It could be that you've been standing here at the door, you've been just about to knock, but you're getting a little bit of the willies while we're waiting, right? And I think that in this moment, this is like that split second before you knock on the door. It feels like an eternity, right? It's like your entire life is flashing before your eyes. Because you know that you're going to knock, you know that you're going to walk through this door, and you kind of know what's on the other side. You're not sure of the details necessarily, but you know what it is. Okay. I feel like it is a extraordinary future. I think it's a future of intense spiritual activity, intense, perhaps partnership. It could be that you're really walking into a marriage, a partnership, a domestic situation. You're walking into some sort of a union, some sort of a some sort of a partnership with a corporation, a new employer, a record label, a foundation, an organization, something that has real implications for the rest of your life. Something practical and physical and down to earth is happening, right? It has such a spiritual component. It really is like overlapping realities. It's almost as if the spiritual world and the physical world have literally converged into this infinite moment for you. Now, I know the spirit and the physical are kind of one and the same. It's a spectrum of energy, a density of energy. But in your case, I really feel like your spiritual life, your inner life, is really manifesting externally in such a way where you can't discern between the two. You can't distinguish your dreams, your inner life, your imagination, your spiritual will from your reality. And I think that you have this important doorway to go through. It's a decision you have to make. Are you going to knock? I think you're going to knock. But the question is, I guess, how long is this infinite moment going to last before you knock? Right? Before you make the decision to, activate that nerve center in your brain that sends the signal down to your knuckles, to knock on the door, or to twist the handle and walk through. I don't know that you need to knock, right? I think as soon as you get ready to knock, the door's going to open, like we were expecting you. This is very significant. Very significant. And perhaps as we go through some of these cards, we'll get more of an idea of what it is that you're doing or what you are about to walk into. But I think it's going to be very, very special. We have this High Priestess energy that has brought you to this doorway. I think it's through a series of events that had a strong sense of synchronicity for you. A lot of maybe supernatural events, a lot of strange things that you've seen, witnessed, experienced, that have led you to this door. It's almost like you're just kind of wandering around aimlessly, following these little odd things that you see. You see a couple of strange numbers, or a pathway seems like it's kind of glowing at you, or there's just signs and symbols and synchronicities and strange energy configuration, orbs perhaps, or shadows that you see moving swiftly in your peripheral vision, things like that. And so you start following that way, right? It's almost like that episode of The Office. I've been making a lot of Office references lately. When Michael Scott gets lost and Holly has to go find him, and she doesn't know what she's doing or where she's going. She's just kind of fumbling around, but she ends up on the right path. She sees certain things that stand out to her, that lead her to where she's going, but she's not consciously aware that she's doing that, right? I think it's sort of a similar thing here. I'm not trying to compare you to Holly Flax from The Office, but yes, I know her last name too. It's kind of the same thing, because you're sensing these energies from the world around you. And I think that's all coming by way of this priestess energy. This is like, this is kind of like your guardian angel, your spirit guide, that doesn't just materialize before you and say, hey, how you doing? Let's go this way. No, it puts certain things in your way. It lights up certain signs and symbols and, shadows or sparkles or orbs. Or just little just synchronicities, right, with names or numbers or street signs or whatever it may be. Signposts along the way. This priestess energy, this guardian angel, this spirit guide puts those in your path for you to notice. And then you know that, okay, you've got to make a right turn here. And that's led you to this doorway. So you've been led to this moment. It's been a part of your spiritual path for a long time, and you may or may not be aware of this. It feels to me like, oh, you know this for sure. There's no doubt in your mind. I kind of feel like you have this self-awareness, this inner illumination, and that we're seeing with the rest of these major arcana cards. That you know exactly what's going on. You know what spiritual entity, guardian angel, spirit guide is leading you. You know where they're leading you. You know who they are. I feel like you've got a good handle on this information already. Now we're going to go to the vertical axis here, because there is this inner illumination that I'm seeing. And this is by way of the Hermit and the Sun card. The Sun kind of within this Hermit energy. Now the Hermit energy is kind of, is at the top of the path of the dove. It's kind of what you've been consciously working on, right? I think that you've been spending a lot of time in contemplation, in prayer, in ritual, in meditation, in kind of solo spiritual activities, right? Communing with nature, doing the evocations and invocations, and a lot of inner communication on the inner planes and the subtle spiritual world. And I think maybe you've even taken a break from some of your more usual external activities. Maybe you are taking a break from some of the social stuff that you're usually involved in, right? You're a little bit more introspective, a little bit more meditative, a little bit more introverted even at this time. I don't think you're usually like that. I think that you have, sometimes this Sun is on top and the Hermit's on the bottom, but this week the Hermit's on top, the Sun's in the bottom, right? So I think you're kind of switching your modes of energy right now, or you maybe have been for a little while, where this cheerful and outgoing, very social, very extroverted energy is kind of slowing down, and you're taking on this more introverted aspect. And I think that was important for you, because it allowed you to really see this path from this priestess energy. It's allowing you to really understand where you're going and what decisions you have to make along the way, so that you can really focus your vision, so that you can see the signs and synchronicities, right? And then furthermore, it's in these inner planes that you're able to really get in contact with your true self, with your spirit guide, with your guardian angel, right? With this part of you that is the, I kind of want to say the personality that is produced when heaven and earth conjoin, when the spiritual and the physical overlap, when your internal and external are superimposed, right? It activates this this communication. This it feels like a personality, right? And I think that it is something that you are in contact with, and it is a source of wisdom and insight for you, a source of direction. It is allowing you to see these signs and symbols that are in the external world, or apparently in the external world, that are leading you to this doorway. Okay? Now, I really want to know what's on the other side of the doorway. I really, really, really do. But first we got to go to this Hanged Man card. I think that you've sacrificed so much in your life in order to make this moment possible, right? You've invested time, you've invested energy, you've bled, you've put yourself in very uncomfortable positions so that you could fulfill this aspect of your being. Okay? And I think this has physical, real world, let's say, real world results. It's something that you are going to be able to manifest on the physical plane. It's not that you have to sacrifice your physical life, your career success, your family, your interests in order to have some sort of spiritual enlightenment. That's not what I'm saying. If you are a follower of this channel, you know that I don't advocate that. I don't advocate sacrificing the physical for the spiritual, because I don't believe that's even possible. I believe that really kind of, it cancels each other out, right? If we sacrifice the physical, then there's no chance of attaining the spiritual. Okay, I believe in asceticism as a practice to strengthen one's tolerance, one's endurance, one's fitness. But I don't see asceticism as a direct doorway to spirituality or to enlightenment. Okay, I guess I'm a little bit Buddhist in that way. But I think that you have understandably made sacrifices. You've chosen to do certain intense work over, indulging and kind of enjoying some other things, or you have done this intentionally. That's the key here. It's not that life just threw you a bunch of suffering and through that you found some sort of enlightenment. No, you've chosen to pursue a spiritual path, even if that means that sometimes, not always, you have to do the difficult thing, and you have to be a little uncomfortable sometimes in order to gain access to the information that you're looking for, to the experiences that you're trying to cultivate, right? And I don't want to get into the details here. I think if this is resonating with you, then that's enough. We don't need to get specific with what these things are. But the key takeaway here is that it was voluntary, it was intentional. It was something that you entered into in order to activate these sides of yourself, these energies, these spiritual forces. A lot of spiritual forces in this reading today. A lot of things that have been set in motion long, long ago that are really present in your life. I think you've been carrying this hermit, this hanged man, this high priestess, this sun card. You've been carrying these energies with you for eons, right? For lifetimes. And it's all brought you to this doorway now. And what's on the other side of this doorway, in some way, has to do with this air energy. This is the Prince of Swords. This is air on air. This is perhaps a spiritual enlightenment. Maybe it's air in that sort of sense, in terms of breath and spirit and enlightenment and clearing our minds and this kind of this fresh atmosphere that we're entering into. I wonder if this is a particular person, though. Could be an air sign person in your life. It could be that a lot of this on the physical plane is involving your communication with this air sign person. And somehow this is part of this conversation that we're having on the path of the serpent. So we're gonna keep this card kind of as a focus to see if we can get a little bit more information on who this person might be or what this experience will be. Because the very next card that we see is the Hierophant. Okay? So is this air sign person your spiritual teacher, your mentor? Is it, is it an embodiment of your highest ideal, your highest self, projected into an external personality? I mean, it could be. It could be, a spiritual mentor of sorts. But this card is also suggesting to me that part of what's on the other side of this doorway, part of this commitment, this new life that's on the other side here, this future of yours, is in some way involving your participation with other people that are like you, right? Other people that are on a spiritual path, other people that have a very strong connection to the spiritual world. And perhaps this is you then becoming a spiritual mentor of sorts, right? Doing some sort of work, and perhaps it is the same what we're talking about here. Perhaps this is your spiritual mentor, and now the pupil has kind of surpassed, the pupil has become the master, right? Has surpassed that level. Because I almost feel like the roles are kind of interchangeable here, right? I think you're taking guidance and assistance and mentorship, and now you're offering that too. Now you're giving back. Now you're helping others to achieve, to embrace all of this spiritual energy into their own life. Okay? So what kind of work does this translate into? All sorts of different types of things. Any kind of work. It could be direct spiritual work in a church, a lodge, a temple, an order. It could be some sort of counseling work. It could be some, there's all sorts of things. I don't have the knowledge of all of the different areas that we could manifest this kind of spiritual mentorship kind of. I don't know if mentorship's the right word, but I feel like it is assisting other people to process and embrace and utilize some of the spiritual energy. Okay. And I feel like it is involving you in some sort of organization that does that, or maybe starting your own foundation or your own clinic of sorts, of your own group of people, your own order, right? And I say that because we have also this justice or adjustment card. So this is a lot of partnership here, right? This is a kind of an equal give and take relationship with, I think, this group. I don't think it's just you yourself, and I don't think it's just one-on-one. I think this one-on-one has now become something larger. More people are being attracted to this work that you're doing. Okay. So this could be, this could literally manifest as like a business partner or a spouse or a friend or a spiritual mentor, someone that you're in communication with on a deep spiritual level that is perhaps giving rise or helping you to give form to this kind of community outreach kind of vibe, this spiritual outreach kind of thing, And I feel like you're kind of creating this into a legitimate business, like making it, not that we're like, bastardizing it or exploiting it for money, but turning this into something official, I guess is what I should say, right? Making this a legit organization, really like, getting the paperwork drawn up to really do this thing the right way. And this is having the partnership with the right people to make this happen. Okay. And finally, we've got this fire energy. We've got a 5 and an 8 of wands. And now this fire energy really is standing out in all of this. This is the real ambition and energy that's being put into this, right? So we're going through this fiery doorway. You're kind of, like I said, you're kind of nervous about going through. You know what's on the other side. You don't know really exactly what it's going to look like. But once you get there, this is where you're meant to be. So going through that fiery doorway, you bring a lot of this fire with you. And this is the 5 and the 8. This is both an active and a passive type of fire. This is a fire that kind of sends its arrows out in every direction and just sees what comes back, You are sending signals out to the 4 corners of the earth and just waiting to see who or what responds to you. And then you are also doing the physical, energetic labor to build this thing, right? With your creativity, with your kind of your fiery hands, you are constructing this thing piece by piece. And it really is, it's a creative fire. It's a spiritual fire, right? It's like you're burning with this spiritual energy, and you're creating this. Again, it kind of feels to me like it's I don't want to say like a study group, but I just feel like it's a bunch of people that kind of sit together and, maybe it's a prayer group or a meditation, maybe it's some kind of instructional thing. Maybe it's a group ritual. I don't know. But I feel like there's a lot of creativity here. A lot of heat is being generated through, a lot of spiritual energy being generated from this group that you're forming. Okay. And I think it is something that you're putting the message out there, and you're letting people come to you. You know what I mean? All the while you're doing the good work here with that Five of Wands. And you're not ever lacking in ambition or confidence in this fiery spiritual energy. You have plenty of it. And I think that it's really an enthusiasm. It is really it's a disciplined and controlled way of creating, a way of utilizing your power, right? If we think about our hand, we have such strength in our grip, but we have such fine motor skills. You know, there's a lot of discipline in the power that we have in our hands. And we have to maintain that discipline, otherwise we just can crush anything that we hold, right? Like we're just breaking everything. But this power, if it's utilized, this strength, if we control it, we can really be very delicate and powerful at the same time, right? So I'm very, very curious what you're doing. I'm very interested in how this is resonating with you. So please leave me some comments. We're going to do the mystery card now. If this is another major arcana card, I'm gonna lose it. I think what we might also like to see is some earth energy here. But let's see what we have. Oh, an Ace of Cups. An Ace of Cups, that's even better than the earth energy. Whatever you are doing is so spiritually fulfilling to you. It has such meaning. I think that you are providing or generating or creating, experiencing, you're pouring out into the world this tremendous love and beauty and this kind of healing energy that is, it's all around you. Every opportunity for you now is an opportunity to create this Ace of Cups, to create this spiritual experience for yourself, for other people, to help people heal, help people experience the joy and beauty and love that's all around. And that to me feels really wonderful. I think that you really are someone to be cherished. You know, I think you're so valuable to the universe as a whole, but to your community, to this community. It feels like you really are coming from a place of love and support and care and this nurturing energy, and really this wanting to encourage other people to produce their own spiritual experiences, right? Their own kind of spiritual breakthroughs, to feel this tremendous love. Now I'm even more curious what you're doing. Definitely leave me some comments. That Ace of Cups is a beautiful card, and I'm happy that we have this. Is really shows kind of the nature of what it is that you're doing. You know, I love that. We're going to do an extended. If you want to stick around, please click on the link that's right up there. You can have access to all of the extended readings. This was your weekly reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot, and I want to thank you so much for letting me read for you.